Welcome to another edition of Citrus Today. I'm Dennis Miller. County Commission Chairman Jeff Kinnard is with us today. Glad to have you in the studio.
I am happy to be back with you. We've got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah,
wow. You were telling me about town hall meetings that you have coming up, and you've got a lot of them that give the public an opportunity to give you input back and forth.
Yes, this was an idea that came out of the annual retreat that the county commission does. And one of the issues that was brought up was residential road resurfacing, repaving of all of our county roads. And naturally, that is a significant expense to the county. Right now, we're putting about $3 million into just repaving. The total bill for road maintenance, bridge maintenance, striping, signs, all that type of stuff, that runs roughly about $13 million. But about $3 million of that is road resurfacing. So where we should be is somewhere in the neighborhood of about $5 to $7 million a year to get all of our county roads repaved roughly on a 25-year cycle is about what it would take. So how do we get from where we're at now at $3 million a year to $5 to $7 million a year? Is it a pressing issue right now for the county as a whole? No. Only isolated spots in the county that really have some very, very rough roads. This is naturally a major issue for them, but it is a bridge the county's going to have to cross at some point. So back to our annual retreat. The idea came out of there to get some public input on just to see what the public at large thought about the possibility of increasing the sales tax a half a cent, which would generate roughly about $5 million a year that would go strictly towards residential road resurfacing. And the reason the idea came up with the sales tax increase is because if you go that route, our visitors, our tourists and such that come to the area, then they participate in paying that sales tax. In fact, the tourists would pay roughly about 40% of it, which gives our local residents a break. We have to cover about 60% of that, but we've got people driving around our community, which we like them to come and do business here.
Sure.
But then they're participating in the maintenance of those roads. And so what I'm going to do as the chairman is I'm going out to give 6 different town hall meetings, or hold 6 different town hall meetings, and just get input. And we're going to talk about a variety of issues facing the county. I think in the press release it said from public parks to road repaving. We're going to cover a lot of things.
Going to cover everything.
But the idea was just get the public's input. I'm certainly not pressing or pushing for a sales tax. The county commission certainly is not pushing for that. But it was an idea that was floated, and let's see what the public thinks about it. So I do have 6 of them lined up. Shall I run through those?
Sure, let's run through those.
I will. I'll go through.
And write down the one in your area, by the way.
Yes, and it's pinned to the top of the county's Facebook page, citrusbocc.com.
Okay.
So the first one coming up is on February 22nd. That one's at 7 o'clock.
21st?
21st. I'm sorry. That one's at 7 o'clock. That's at Citrus Springs Community Center.
Okay.
All of the others are at 5:30. So I've got February 28th at Central Ridge Library, March 6th at the Coastal Region Library, March 19th at the Homosassa Library, and March 21st at Lakes Region Library, and March 28th at the Floral City Library. So it's going to be a busy schedule, but we're going to give everybody to come out and give their opinion. Listen to what's going on in the community and just give us their opinion. If they like the idea, great, we want to hear that. If they hate the idea, great, we want to hear that too. And the county commission's just judging to see, is there an interest in going this route? If there is, fine. Then ultimately what would happen is this issue would have to go on a ballot, either in a special election in a year or 2 from now, or it would be in a primary election or general election. It has to go on a ballot to be voted on by the community, okay, whether or not to pass this. So it's not something that the county commission can just decide to do. We're looking for input right now to say, do you want to see this on the ballot? If not, fine. We'll just move forward and continue at the current pace with as far as $3 million will take us.
Always seeking the input of the public. You have a workshop coming up Tuesday.
Yes.
For the county commission, and that specifically, though, is going to regard parking fees.
Yes, yes. That is an idea actually that I floated to the board, probably a month or 2 months ago. If people have done any boating in our community at all out on the west side of our county, they know that we have a parking issue at our public ramps. Now, we do have one major improvement there coming up, but it's probably a few years out yet, is that we're building a brand new boat ramp up at the barge canal. That boat ramp, it'll be 5 or 6 lanes to put boats in. There'll be well over 100 parking spots for vehicles and trailers, so that will certainly relieve some of the pressure on our existing ramps. I believe we still will have a parking problem at our existing ramps, and we may very well be looking at the possibility of needing to build a new ramp at some point in the future to continue to take pressure off of our existing boat ramps. So the idea was, where's that funding going to come from? Okay, it's either going to come from ad valorem taxes, in which everybody helps cover the cost. Well, not everybody boats. And so the large percentage of people that don't vote or that don't boat, they're not too excited about paying for new boating facilities. It's boating and boating facilities. Those aren't like your schools or other things.
Sure.
that generally affect the entire community. This is a recreational thing that a certain percentage of our community enjoys, and so. What we're going to discuss at our workshop is, do we want to implement a parking fee at those existing boat ramps so that we can generate the funds to make improvements there in parking, or possibly end up building a new boat ramp at some point down the line. One other issue that's going to be decided that we're going to discuss at this meeting is, with those funds, do we want to look at the possibility of implementing an inshore artificial reef program, possibly up to 10 different sites where folks could reach with their family boats, smaller boats, things like that.
Okay, I want to talk more about that in just a minute, but we need to take a break. We'll be right back after this.